Welcome back to AgriTalk. Just a reminder, we're just a couple days away now from the Half Century of Progress show that'll be in Rantoul, Illinois, August 25th through the 28th, spanning the last 100 years, where you can see Big Blue, the Big Four, the Big Flag, antique farm equipment, a daily parade, field demonstrations, and 50 years of Cub Cadet. For details, visit www.halfcenturyofprogress.org or call 217-595-5000. All right, we're in Des Moines for the American Coalition of Ethanol Conference, and wow, always good to talk with Brian Jennings, Executive Vice President for ACE. Good turnout. You're happy?
Yeah, we're happy with the turnout, and it's always good to see you and the AgriTalk crew, so thanks for being here.
Never a dull moment with the ethanol industry, never a shortage of issues, and I was talking with someone here in the hallway earlier. It seems like sometimes we seem to be plowing the same fields over and over sometimes. Some of the same issues keep coming back up. But wow, this is a challenging time, and trying to look forward and determine the direction for this industry. I mean, there are a lot of questions out there.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions as we look to reform of VTEC, whether Congress will take that up or not in the fall. A lot of questions about what life will look like without that. It's either going to be reformed or repealed or expire, obviously. So next year is going to look very differently, and we want to begin to have that conversation about how we develop a roadmap going forward, how we take advantage of the RFS and make sure we protect that, but how we go back on offense as well, because I think some of this uncertainty has been created, frankly, as a function of the fact that we've been on our heels and we've been defending ourselves and not promoting ourselves as much as we ought to, and so that's something we're talking about as well.
The critics of ethanol, the sharks smell blood, or they're kind of circling in the waters, and they think this is a time to to really cut the legs out from under this industry. That's what you're fighting against.
That's exactly what we're fighting against, and it's not just satisfaction with seeing a tax credit go away. It's a concerted effort to go after that renewable fuel standard as well, and so that's where our industry really needs to redouble its efforts. It's an opportunity for us to sort of rebuild those bridges with the groups that helped us get the RFS enacted in the first place, Mike. Some of those are environmental groups that may not want to work with us anymore, but some will. The cellulosic industry, the advanced biofuel crowd, it's an opportunity for us to sort of build a broader coalition to defend that and then promote some new things going forward.
Still trying to get E15 implemented. Are you optimistic, even with the opposition that keeps popping up against it? Do you think EPA will push that through?
I do. There's a lawsuit pending, and I can't even imagine commenting on how that might shake out. But EPA is likely to approve the health effects testing for E15 sometime soon. That will allow the fuel to be registered at the federal level, which is sort of the step that needs to happen to give the states the green light to start to dismantle the barriers that they have. And one of the things that Iowa has done ahead of all the other states is dismantle those barriers and then actually provided an incentive for retailers to use E15. So we're going to see it start here, and I think this year you'll start to see some incremental E15 use.
The labeling issue, you've kind of worked through that.
Well, the label is better than what they proposed. It's not the skull and crossbones scary label that EPA proposed. The label's going to create some confusion for folks, no doubt. And when EPA says some cars can use E15, some cannot, that's just part of the deal. And so it's our obligation to educate people on that. We're confident some petroleum marketers are looking to take advantage of selling E15, and we're going to be working with them to do the best they can.
It's still frustrating, all the misinformation is out there about ethanol, and the charges that are made, even though there's scientific data that disproves a lot of those charges, it seems like that's dismissed and the same old arguments are thrown out there with no basis behind them.
Yeah, it's too often a fact-free debate, as I mentioned this morning in my remarks. And I think part of it is I'd like to see our industry do a better job of personalizing and humanizing the benefits of ethanol. We're seen by some as this sort of institution or this abstract thing. We provide real benefits to real people in real ways, not just corn farmers and ethanol producers, but soccer moms and dads who have to fill up their car all around the country because of the competitiveness of our fuel, the health benefits of our fuel. And so part of that is going back on offense and talking about what we are and how we do what we do and why we are benefiting America, and I think we can do that.
The success, too, has been the percentage of our fuel supply that now is ethanol, and for the naysayers, what would you do if you took that out? I mean, that would just throw us back into more dependence on other countries.
Precisely. You remove ethanol from the fuel supply today, gas prices increase on average upwards of 90 cents per gallon, according to some studies. This industry needs to make the case more compelling that we are an integral part of the fuel supply, and we can be even more. I mean, we just had someone talk about exporting nearly 1 billion gallons of ethanol outside of this country, which drives a lot of people here crazy. But until EPA allows for sort of more comprehensive use of E15, until we get more blender pumps and FFEs, that sort of strange oddity is going to continue.
Interesting times, and a lot of discussion here, some important issues. We'll get into more of them as we go along. Good to see you. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Ryan Jennings, Executive Vice President for American Coalition for Ethanol, here at their annual conference in Des Moines. Much more to come. We're going to take a look at international trade concerning ethanol. That's coming up next. Stay with us. This is AgriTalk.